Hey, how's everyone doing? My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Monday afternoon live. And I'm in a new location right now. This is my new studio space. Let me see if I can. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you a quick little tour in our Facebook group when we're done here this afternoon. So if you're interested in wanting to see the studio space, then make sure you log into Facebook and I'll show you some little fun things that I did up here. But that's not why we're here, right? We are here to draw landscapes. I come to you every single Monday afternoon about 2 p.m. and we spend an hour together. We take a look at all things that have to do with usually drawing things on the outside. And there goes good old friend Taco there. Stay down there, buddy. And today's no different. So I'm glad that you're here. I am live. So if you have any questions, please just throw them in the chat. Kevin, I see you. Thanks for tuning in and saying hello. So let's get this. Okay, we're ready to go here. Okay, so let's jump right into this. But I had mentioned in a simple trick of creating depth, and let me show you what that is. It's actually just the idea of overlap, and I talk about this often, and it's a simple concept, but when you really start. Wait, I'm so sorry. When you really start to work with overlap, it can really, you will find out that there is a lot that can happen. That my friend is the cat Taco there playing with his squeaky mouse behind me. Hopefully that won't be annoying. So hold on, I gotta get rid of it. All right, he's back. All right, let's get into this. So overlap. So in its most purest form, let me show you this idea here. All right, so here we have a round object. This could be a stone or something like that. A simple overlap would be something like this, you see? So now we've created depth by saying that this is overlapping the object behind it. And then we could put another object back here behind that, you see? And you could keep adding more and more objects, making them smaller as you go in the distance, and you really start to create depth, which I just gave another clue of another concept, another idea is size. You could, by changing the size of something, you can also give the idea that space is going back. Hold on for one quick second. All right, he's back. Size. Size is another concept that we use often. So we have overlap and size. There's actually a total of 7, but we'll hit on these 2 for right now. But let me talk about really the overlap for one more second here. And this is where this idea gets so much more powerful, okay? Let's say you had let's say this is an upper torso, okay? This is the side of a robot per se, or a side of a person, and you have an elbow that comes out like this, all right? And then we have a hand here, and then thumb would be right there. So this inside line, this is how I use overlap. If I come in here like this and I overlap that, you see this tells me that this forearm is in front of the forearm. Now if I draw that, if I turn around and change that, like this, watch this. Okay, now I've just completely changed the idea here. Now that forearm is in front of that back arm, you see? So in one instance, you could have the idea that the hand is coming forward. Oops. And then in the other instance, you can describe that the hand is going back. You see that? And we create that concept by overlap. And so this idea right here is quite powerful when you start considering how we can create things that are coming forward and things that are going back just by using that idea of overlap. Here's another way that you could see how it's being used. Let's say we have a round surface here like this, right? The bottom of a cylinder per se. And if I come up here like this, watch this. And then here I just create a little bit of an overlap. Look at that. Right there in those corners I've created overlap, and once again I give the concept, the idea that this band, this object is wrapping around, you see, all by overlap. So though this is a simple idea, you can actually turn around and use it to be far more complex. So that right there is the simple trick that will add depth to any picture of really using overlap to your advantage. All right, let's get into our picture now. So just by looking at our picture, we have, of course, this beautiful area of rocks that are overlapping. Then we have this background, and then behind the background there, we have a whole line of trees, and the middle group of trees is overlapping the ones in the background. You see that? All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So you want to just think about that. Think about that as you're drawing. Don't do it randomly, but consider like, oh, how can I use overlap here? All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off my drawing with a simple frame here. I always, generally speaking, if I'm going to do a landscape or something like that, I'm always going to start my drawing off with a frame. Now let's drop in this horizon line and be mindful of something here. Look at this. that is in almost the upper third. So we have almost, this picture is composed using the rule of thirds. A third of it is up top and then 2/3 on the bottom. So let's go ahead and just randomly, not randomly, put in kind of a quick line of where that third is going to be, where that far bank is. And then I'm just going to rough in these trees. And once again, come way over to the right there, just like this. All right. That's going to kind of give me a containment line for these trees. All right, looking down here at the side, let's put a little mark on our page where the edge of all these rocks are going to go, and just then look up at top there. Now it's going to come almost all the way here. I'm just going to get the general shape of where these things are all going to go. Using these big shapes really helps me to corral my drawing. Now when it comes to rocks, what I like to do is just kind of give a small area, and then I like to go into that area and get my sides down. So let's get the first rock that's right in front of us here, and we're just gonna kind of come in here like this. And then I'm going to add another one here. Making sure that you stay really light. Keep your drawing light on the page at this point. All right, this one's back in the back there, right? Okay. There's one back here. And you don't have to be perfect on these. Just, you know, you could have a different set of rocks even. I mean, you don't have to have the exact same amount as I do. Or even as a picture, as we have in the picture here. And we got one up here as well. Pamela, we've only just gotten started, so I think you could quickly get caught up. All right, and then we have another rock coming in here at the bottom like this. Okay, let's begin with the rock that is closest to us here. And I'm going to use surface lines. And surface lines are lines that we apply to our drawing that are going to describe the surface of the object that we're drawing. So what I mean by that is, look, this side of the rock. What's up, Mr. John? Okay, so there's that side. All right, let's get this next one here. And all I'm doing is just kind of slowly adding some surface lines to the shadowed area. This is going to help create form, and then I can start thinking more about it. So I'm just kind of moving along here, trying to I see perfect recommendation. Am I being scammed? Or can I get a cat t-shirt? Yes, you can, Mr. John. You are not being scammed. I have gotten the opportunity to add some merch to the bottom of the YouTube channel. So if you want to get a Taco the Cat t-shirt or a Dad Who Draws mugs, that is available now. All right. So now I've just kind of briefly dropped in these different textures here to create surface on the rocks. And I'm going to come back into them a second round here, but this time I'm going to squint my eyes and I'm going to add some value. So I'm looking at these rocks starting with this big guy here, and I can see that where is the lightest light and where is the darkest dark on this rock. So this is going to be, I'm going to add a little bit of value. And then this guy as well. So I'm just looking at the picture, using it as reference, and going in here and adding one same value. I could even put that same value into the grassy area right there. And I want to add one more place, and then I'll pause for a second. I want to add one value down into the reflection in the water. You see that? All right, let's go ahead and jump up into this into the trees up here in the back now. So what I want you to do is I'm going to look at this tree line here, and this is, I'm thinking of this area here first, okay? That's what I'm thinking of first. So I'm just going to come in here and add a value. I'm not looking for detail right now. I'm just trying to get an area that has value. And then I'm going to continue that value with the trees in the distance. Oops, not that color. All right, let's come back into those trees in the foreground here, in the midground, these things in here, and add some more value. Now the ones in the background, we're not going to add any more, because we're going to create what they call atmospheric perspective. That means that objects that are in the distance are much more lighter in value than those in front. Let's work on the seashore, the shore right below that, and you're going to see overlap here as well. Watch now. So I'm going to start right about here. And then behind this, we're going to have another little bit of grass. You see this? And then behind that, I'm just slowly bringing my picture into focus here, in a sense. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, let me just pause for a quick second and just say, definitely, please do subscribe and like the video. And what's really important is if you get down in the comment section, not so much our chat, but really the comments down below, jump in there and let me know if there are certain areas of the world that you think we might come up with some good landscapes. So just say, hey, I'd like to see some landscapes from Antarctica. Let me know what you're thinking, and I will do some research and find some from those different areas, okay? All right, let's keep going here. Let's come back to our rocks here and start to add a little bit more value. So I'm going to go through the same process again, but this time just come in here and add some darker areas. But let me show you, like this rock in particular right here, let me show you something you could do using overlap. See, if I come up like this, and then I come back down like this, you see, by using overlap in a very subtle way, I've created a sense of depth right into the rock itself. All right, let's come into this next one here. Here's overlap again. I'm going to come down here to the edge and then walk back up the rock just a little bit. You see that? Then bottom of the rock where it hits the water is going to be relatively pretty flat. I'm even adding like some little specks to create texture on this rock. All right, here's some overlap here where I'm just gonna come there and then go on the top there. Creates almost like a crack in that rock. Adding some middle value. I really am trying to keep this with 3 values. All right, let's get this. I'm going to work on this guy back here. Next one up here. Now I'm going to make sure I add some darker value toward the bottom so that the rocks in front of it will create contrast, you see? Now they pop forward. You could use value to create depth. So what we have is we have overlap, we have size, and we have value. Those are three. This video was only supposed to show you one, but you've gotten a special bonus today. It's a good Monday to be here, right? 3 ways to create depth into a picture. John, what are they? Let me test you. What are the 3 ways, John, we could create? Or Pamela or Kevin, can you guys draw and type at the same time? All right. Overlap. There it is. There's one. Value. Oh my gosh, you are. Oh, there's Pamela coming in. Good. All right, Pamela. And size. Well done. Yeah, those are three ways we can create depth in a picture. And those rules can be broken as well, but nonetheless, that's one way to think about it. How about drawing the top of a round table, looking at it from in front? Someone at it from the front, and someone's boy. You can smudge. Great questions. You can smudge. If you use a stump. Yep. Yep. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me, but yeah, I haven't done anything more yet. I'm waiting until it gets green, so you can use this as I get caught up and unfreeze. Yep, it's all right. I'm back, so you guys should all be back here. Let's see. Sandy brought up a great point about smudging and rubbing things out. A lot of people use a stump to achieve that. Now, typically, I've never used a stump, and I don't use my fingers because the oil. I usually don't use my fingers. If I have occasion during like a figure drawing where I might rub charcoal in a sense, but I stay away from that. I think a stump, if you really want to do the rubbing, a stump is the way to go with that, okay? All right, let's keep going here. So I'm going to come back here to my grass and start to keep adding in clumps that are in front of, again, this idea of overlap. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. All right, look at this. Here's the bank. Here's the bank. It comes up here. I'm going to use that to overlap this rock in the back here, you see? Yes. Great, you can hear me. Woo! And then one last thing I'm going to do on our rocks before I move on is I'm going to come back in here in the grass area, and I'm just going to add a couple more values to darken it up just a little bit, to really separate it from the rocks around it. All right, I'm going to get back in here now, back into my trees in the distance here, and I still haven't put any branches in yet. All I'm dealing is with thinking of, if I squint my eyes, and now really squint your eyes, and let me show you this. Let me show you something over here that I just noticed that will really, these are the things you have to be careful of, or be aware of, really. Now, upon first observation of this grove of trees in the back, now that I've looked at it for, what are we at? We're at like about 40 minutes. Look at the change in value right in here. You see this? I'm just going to put this red here so you really could see, and even in here. Okay, so look to that red. Now, when I erase it, look at the change in value there. You see? You see how that's darker and denser than the rest of the tree? Well, let's do that. Let's put that in. So we're gonna put that in like that. I'm leaving just a little bit to show some of those trunks. Here's a little bit over here. And then as I'm going to make my way up this tree and keep asking myself, oh, how is value changing in these leaves from this distance? See, this is really what makes it. It's so important to learn how to draw first before you paint, because when you incorporate painting is no different than what we're doing right now. The only difference really in painting is, one, you're using a different material, that being paints, and then two, you're using hue, or you're using color. And so if you could learn and work with composition, learn to work with values like we're doing right now, painting, you just have eliminated so many parts of painting that are so hard that when you try and do painting all at once, what I'm saying is, if you just go with painting and don't practice drawing, you're really are trying to learn everything. Whereas if you get really good at drawing first, the painting is so much more easier to take on and be successful at. Okay, now I'm going to add some trunks here, and I'm just kind of doing it sparingly. I don't need to get all these little twigs because I have all of this foliage that I've already created by using value. I'm going to add some of this little grassy area here. I'm just thinking of what is in front of what. What is in front of what? Like mounds of grass. Just adding very lightly some trunks in the far distance back there. I'm reworking the shore line over here. Oh, great, Sandy. Yeah, you've said it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Every color, and every color has a value. And if you like red has a value. Everything has a value associated to it. And if you start to train yourself to see values just by repetition, yeah, you'll do much better at painting. All right. Let's get these reflections. Let's get some reflections here. So I'm down in the water here, and I'm just going to start to reflect the object that I see right above it. Yeah, a lot of people will start painting right out of the gate, and they'll get so frustrated that they'll quit. They'll quit, and that's sad because they're trying to learn too much. It's like learning a foreign language, and you jump right into I don't know, giving speeches. All right, I don't know. All right, look, you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to mirror. I'm mirroring that that background there, and I'm looking at my picture here. Okay, I'm going to come back down here to my rocks and really start to add a lot more value into the water here, where it's reflecting. Well, I'm glad you didn't give up. Okay, I'm going to go back in here and add some more. I'm gonna drop a whole level of value right onto these trees here, because I want to make them much darker than what they are right now. Don't be afraid to really drop in those reflections, okay? Drawing is something that just takes time, and I think that's well, just like playing music. I don't know how to play any music, but I can only imagine that it just takes time. Oh, all right? You asked a question. How about drawing the top of a round table, looking at it from the front, and someone sitting behind it? Yes. Julia, was that your question? We will do that next week. How about that? Okay? And if you don't mind just reminding me, send me a message over the weekend, over this next weekend, to do that. Okay? And I'll make sure that we draw something to that next Monday. I think that's a good idea. We could do an interior. Oh, months. It may have been even last year. We did a interior of a coffee shop. Really, it was like a coffee shop bookstore from Peru, and some older gentleman was reading a book and drinking a coffee there, and it was I think that's something that I think that's a good idea. So, okay, so I'm just kind of going through here in our closing minutes and just starting to add a little more details. I'm kind of looking at the picture and trying to make some decisions. Like, look at this. Look at the distance. Look at the very distance here. I've kind of added some darker value to that edge of that bank, so the trees in the distance get really pushed back. You see what I did way back there? Now, that's different. That's different than our photo per se, but I'm using value here to create that. Oh, sure. All right, I think that's going to do it today. Let me just give it one more look-see here. All right, that's going to do it. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Thanks for watching, everyone, today. Do please join our Facebook group. The link is down in the description. We have a very robust community. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And I will see you guys over there to say hello and all that good stuff, okay? My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Now go out there, make your day great. Bye-bye.